It has been quite an achievement for the bank to maintain its market shares in such a difficult environment following the financial crisis of 2013, as well as the major challenges that this bank had to face due to its unprecedented transformation process. The economy is doing much better, and we can feel, let's say, this improved economic activity in terms of more confidence regarding our clients. So we do see a pickup in demand for new credit. At the same time, the damage that was done in 2013 and also in the years prior to that was quite sizable. And it will take time for everything to normalize, but the turnaround of the economy has been quite phenomenal. So I am and we are quite optimistic for the future regarding economic activity, and we are trying to bring the bank to that status and path in order to capture, let's say, the most out of this recovery. Capital controls, they look so distant. I mean, I cannot even recall, let's say, that situation. We went into that, let's say, situation very fast, and actually in a free fall. We came out again faster than expected due to the strong management of the economy and the collaboration of all the people and institutions as well. We do feel that we're in a strong path towards, again, the recovery, and the lessons have been learned regarding that. There is confidence back in the system. We do see that the deposits, the volume of deposits has increased in the system. The proportion of liquidity in the system, it's something like 10 billion euro, which is more than 50% of the GDP of the country. In the case of our bank, we have a liquidity ratio of, let's say, more than 30%, and actually that is burdening our balance sheet. It is the same with other banks. So my bank has excess liquidity of around 4 billion. So it's becoming something like, I could say, a concern or a liability for the balance sheets. People, they definitely show that they trust the banking system. At the same time, we're in a transformation phase because people in the past, they used to hold deposits as a means of investment, and they were requiring quite a high return from holding the deposits. Now we have converged with, let's say, with the Eurozone interest rates and the Eurozone banking system. We're having a deposit in the bank. It is actually as a form of let's say, safety, or having just some cash in case that you would need them for a specific, let's say, business purpose. So I do expect that people soon should go into other forms, let's say, of wealth holding and maintaining in Cyprus. Okay, the NPL issue, it's an issue that we didn't want to share with other countries. I had hoped that we didn't have this problem in Cyprus, but it is a structural problem that has been created, let's say, from the type of economic growth that we had, the island mentality, the way that the banking system was operating. Nevertheless, all the banks in Cyprus, they made a breakthrough in setting up internal NPL management units. This was something that was very new in Cyprus. Most of the international best practices were adopted in Cyprus, and this was the route and the strategy chosen at that time by Troika. 3 years after the, let's say, after the crisis, we have learned a lot. We have gained expertise. In absolute terms and in absolute amounts, we have reduced the NPLs, but still we have a mountain to climb. The NPL ratios, they are very high, even though their absolute amounts have been reduced. In the case of our bank, we have reset our strategy. Actually, our strategy is an evolving strategy because it is a new area for the banking system in Cyprus and for Cyprus itself. And our strategy has evolved, meaning that we are now entering into external cooperations with specialists. And that is where Altamira comes in. So we're setting up a cooperation with one of the biggest players in Eurozone, and an institution, a company that has worked alongside Spanish retail bank, which is Banco Santander, in dealing with this problem. We have agreed with Altamira at a high level, and now we are structuring the deal. It is again an uncharted territory for us. The new MP business plan that we have prepared is quite ambitious. We have already started seeing some positive results, and we're I would say, confident that with the help of Altamira and the expertise of Altamira, we'll be able to address this issue in the medium term in order to, let's say, focus on doing the plain vanilla boring banking that we should be doing as a retail bank. Evidence shows no, because still the southern Europe it has a significant problem. The differentiating factor for Cyprus is that we do have economic growth, which is the most important, let's say, pillar and parameter for addressing the NPL issues. It is a financial issue, and it is a social issue as well. Perhaps more could have been done at the macro level. At the same time, we're having the creation of the European Banking Union, which is pushing all the banks into a specific direction with closer supervision, more capital requirements, de-risking effectively of the banking system, which again, it means that we have to address several challenges and issues at the same time. That is, de-risk the bank by making, let's say, more well capitalized, increase provisions, reduce the NPL issue in a growing economy, but that is deleveraging. We feel that if enough, let's say, preparation is done, and in order to show the equity story, interest could be attracted. Now, Cypriot banks, they are becoming more and more, let's say, exposed to the international investment community, and they are more outward looking. This is a necessity because now Cypriot banks, they are part of the Eurozone. There are 4 systemic banks in Cyprus, and that is also raising the investor awareness as well as transparency. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget the actual size of Cyprus. It's a small place, and we cannot be at the forefront of investor interest. But I'm very pleased with the raising of profile for the Cyprus banking system lately. We have demutualized due to the state aid that we received. At the same time, we are trying to build on the traditional values of the bank, which actually are the traditional values of the society, in order to stay close to the people and try and respond to, let's say, their needs regarding banking services. So we are looking to offer banking services in a simple way and in a responsible way. So we have transformed this cooperative, let's say, history and culture into what we call responsible banking. At the same time, we are learning from the experiences of similar banks in the Eurozone, and especially from Holland and Rabobank. So we have established a technical assistance program with Rabobank in order to learn, let's say, from their experiences and offer competitive, responsible banking services to the people who are our clients. The learning path of Cypriot banks, it has been phenomenal. They have managed to adapt to the new environment, which was a new banking environment After the crisis, at the beginning there was complete loss of confidence. The Cyprus banking system has managed to attract international investor interest, and at the same time to live and operate in a very strict regulatory or supervisory environment under ECB auspices. A lot of lessons have been learned in how to do business, on how to operate, and also managing the NPLs. Comparing to the pre-financial crisis, I would say tremendous progress has been done. It appears that in the European Union a new economic model is on the search. Regarding the banking system, it is still in a defensive mode. Negative interest rates are not helping the bank's profitability, and still we have not seen the real effect of fintech. So the banking system in Europe has not gone through its own revolution, meaning that changing and adapting, let's say, to technology and to the needs of the people and of the businesses. We don't see any consolidation at the European level, and we do see differentiation between the European banking system and the US banking system. So the US banking system, it managed to go quickly through its, let's say, its problems and return, let's say, back to playing a dominant role in the economy. But at the same time, we do know that in Europe, developments, they take longer, because that is Europe. I mean, it's a big union of different, let's say, states and mentalities. But definitely we have a much safer, stable, a little bit boring banking system, but it has to become more dynamic in order to, let's say, boost economic growth, especially in Southern Europe.